It's okay. I mean, yeah, later if you want. That's also good. All right. So anybody else like to say anything? So Nityananda Prabhu's appearance day is coming up. Advaita Acharya's appearance day is also there. So many holy days are coming up. And these holy days are, you know, to improve our consciousness. We can make some resolution. The main resolution, all resolutions should culminate in improvement of consciousness, basically. So we are here in this material world. The reason we have taken birth in this material world is to become Krishna conscious. And whatever resolution we take should help that goal, is to become Krishna conscious. So we can pray to Lord Nityananda for mercy. Because I was thinking, we need strength in spiritual life. We need. Now we are attracted to many things not Krishna conscious, or we have many desires which are not Krishna conscious. So we have to, and we are attracted to those, fulfilling those desires which are not Krishna conscious. There is like a strong attraction to those desires. And we know in our heart, everybody knows what, if you introspect, everybody knows what is their particular anarthas. So, although they are anarthas, we also know from hearing, from reading the philosophy, we know that these are anarthas, these are not going to give me happiness. But I am very attracted to it because I think they are very valuable, and without fulfilling these anarthas, or I will not be happy. Somehow there is a little disconnect between our understanding and the realization we have. So theoretically we understand, yes, this is not good for me, but that understanding has not become very deep like a realization. So that's where there's a disconnect, and we can pray to Lord Nityananda. I'm just talking about myself. And pray to Lord Nityananda that please give me the deep realization that I cannot be happy without serving you. Without your service, I cannot be happy, and all these things, other things that I am attracted to, will only give me misery. Please give me that realization. So Nityananda Prabhu will give that realization, and also the strength to, because all these other things are very like powerful, like magnets, and we are being attracted. So if an iron is being attracted to a magnet, and you have to resist that attraction, you need to pull that iron away from that powerful magnet. So you need some strength. So to take our consciousness away from this material world, material existence, and focus it on Krishna is not so easy. So we need some strength. So we can pray to Lord Nityananda Krishna. Oh Nityananda, you are the source of all strength. You are Balram. You are so powerful. Please help me. Take my attention away from all these other things and direct it to the lotus feet, to your lotus feet, to Radha Krishna's lotus feet. And that's the what you can say, the job or the function of Lord Nityananda. Okay, so anybody like to say anything about that? Some prayer we can give. Pray to Lord Nityananda. And if another thing is, if we pray, but if we don't really mean it deep down in our heart, then the prayer, Krishna knows that you are praying, but you don't really mean it from deep down inside your heart. So whatever we pray, we really want to mean. Mean means we really, really want to, if we say, "Oh Nityananda Prabhu, please free me from all material desires," then we really want to mean it. "Oh Nityananda Prabhu, please make me a pure devotee." Then you have to really mean it that you want to. You have to be genuine in your prayers. It's not just like praying. That's why sometimes, we pray and then we say, "Oh, prayer didn't work," because deep down, the so of course sometimes deep down we don't feel like that this is it's not good or anything like that. We don't feel like that. We still hold on to our anarthas. So we should have a deep desire to get rid of the anarthas in our heart. So then, because we can only desire, right? That's the function of the jiva. Or we can tell Lord Nityananda, please give me the desire. Please give me that deep desire. So I don't have that desire, but I want to have that desire. Please give me that desire. So, and desires also, like, we can have a feeble desire, we can have a little stronger desire, we can have a even more stronger desire, even more stronger desire. So it depends on the intensity of our desire. So we have to intensify the desire. So, because sometimes desires are there, but there are many other desires also. So it's not the singular desire. There are thousand other desires, and that's why this desire is one of those desires. And we cannot focus on that singular desire because there are many other desires that are like, interfering with that desire to become Krishna conscious. So, so that's what Vyavasaitmika Buddhi means. Vyavasaitmika Buddhi means that one pointed desire. Like Arjuna, he was shooting the arrow and he was only seeing the eye of the needle, eye of the fish, sorry, eye of the fish. So he was not seeing anything else. So that's how we have to fine tune our consciousness. So, correct? Is that anybody like to say anything? And we can get those desires by being in association with those who have that kind of desires, that one pointed desire. Then we will get that. Like Prabhupada had that one pointed desire. So many of his disciples, they became renounced and they became dedicated to Srila Prabhupada's mission fully. So they gave up all the other things. Now it may be very difficult, because it's not like we should get discouraged also. That if we can't do like how others have done, we should not get discouraged, but we should keep praying, keep chanting, keep serving, and then one day we'll come to that kind of situation. Okay. We'll read. Oh, yeah, you want to say anything? Correct. Hmm. Yeah, we transmigrate only because of our material desires in this material existence. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Somehow that deep conditioning is there that if I fulfill my desires, material desires, I'll be very happy. That deep conviction is there in the heart. Because we have done that like many lifetimes. Although we have suffered, but we have not actually given up the hope that yeah, something again next time it will it'll work out. Next time it will work out. It didn't work out last time, but next time it will work out. Next time it will work out. So like that, there is some hope that is being given, and like the donkey, right, who has a carrot in front of him, is thinking that okay, I will get the carrot if I just walk a little fast. I'll get the carrot. I'll get the carrot. I'll get the carrot. So that is what is going on in this material existence. And that's why we go from one body to the next. Maya is dangling a carrot before us. Say, okay, if you just get that, if you just had that, if only my life was like this, if only that would have happened, if only that, then I would have been very happy. So we all have our if onlys, right? In our life, if we think, okay, if only I had a better job, if only I had a bigger house, or if only I had a nicer spouse, if only I had a like a nicer whatever child, if only I had a child, if only I had this. So everything, all these if onlys, we have so many if onlys, and those if onlys are, and it always keeps changing, right? If you have something, then you say after you get things, if only I had that, then that would have been nice. Then when you get that, then you say, if only I had that. So like that, it keeps going. So we should say, if only I was more Krishna conscious, then I would have been so much happier. If only I had some taste for chanting the holy name, I would have been so much happier. If only, if I came to Krishna, if only I came to Krishna consciousness earlier, I would have been so happy. I wasted so much time. If only I had come to Krishna. So these are good if onlys. If only I had more desire to serve, it would be so nice. If only I could be more humble. If only I could be more selfless in my devotional service. If only I could be free from lust. If only I could be, then then I would be so nice. So we all have our if onlys. Borijan Prabhu writes in his Japa book, right? The if onlys. He says, okay, but if there are material if onlys, then that will give another situation. So, okay, we will.
One thing to understand that this world is a place of suffering, and also the spiritual world is a place of so much bliss. I mean, we can see the pastimes of how Krishna and the devotees, the Gopas, Gopis, and mothers and fathers of Krishna, they are so much enjoying with Krishna.
Mm,
So having that faith that whatever is missing, we'll get everything in the spiritual world.
yeah,
All happiness.
correct. Okay, yes. So we'll read one few verses. So creation of the Kumaras and others.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I just wanted to add something. Like, even though like we have that perspective where we are saying yes, this material world is a dukhala, but as a devotee, we should have a perspective that yes, Krishna, I was so envious of you, and I am placed in this correctional facility. At least you gave me an opportunity to come back to you, which I should be very grateful. And um, I mean, at least he gave us this opportunity, right? If he would have placed us in any other greater dukhalam, we maybe from there we don't know whether we have like chance to even come back to him that easily.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, that's why they say Earth is the right place. We are on this Earth planet where suffering is not so much, happiness is also not so much. It's a mixed bag. And we can, because if it was too much happiness, material happiness, then also it's difficult. If it was too much suffering, then it's also difficult. And we are born at the right time. Right, they say to be in the right time, right place at the right time. So we are born in this Kali Yuga, but this is the golden period. Lord Chaitanya has come only 500 years back, and we are Nityananda Prabhu's mercy is there, so much mercy, So, yeah, Nityananda Prabhu, like, he doesn't consider, yesterday we were hearing, he doesn't consider our qualification, disqualification. He wants to give us the mercy. So, we are in such a time where the mercy is flowing, Lord Nityananda Prabhu's, and through Srila Prabhupada. Like they were saying that Krishna says, Yatha mam prapadyante tam satheva bhajami ham. If you surrender to me, I will protect you. Lord Chaitanya says, you don't have to, you just be there, I will come to you. And Nityananda Prabhu says, even if you run away, I will run after you to catch you. So Nityananda Prabhu is like, sometimes we think the devotees means they should be concerned about their own welfare. If somebody takes up Krishna consciousness, they take up. It's not. But Srila Prabhupada, if he thought like that, then he would not have left Vrindavan and come here. If he was only concerned with his own Krishna consciousness. But Srila Prabhupada is the messenger of Lord Nityananda. He ran after all the conditioned souls. So the devotees who are representing in ISKCON, they are trying to get all the conditioned souls. They are making effort how to get the conditioned souls to the lotus feet of Krishna. That is the mood of Lord Nityananda. And that's why Nityananda Prabhu is considered the most merciful, because he is distributing Lord Chaitanya's mercy. He is running after the conditioned souls on how to bring them back to Mahaprabhu. So, so that is why this is the mood. Prahlad Maharaj also the mood. That's why when we go out and we go door to door, book distribution, something, whatever, we are like as messengers of Srila Prabhupada. We are trying to convince people, okay, you please take up this chanting of the holy name, take up Krishna consciousness. We should not feel we are great, but that Nityananda Prabhu was doing like that. Although he is the Supreme Lord, he took a straw between his teeth and he went to every house and knocked. And he was telling them, please take up Krishna consciousness. So, in this movement, ISKCON movement, we have to also approach they are not going to come to us. If we say we will not do, they will come to us. No, that is not going to happen. We have to make the effort of approaching them, because that is the mood of Lord Nityananda. He is going door to door and he is approaching. So, and that's how somebody approached us with a book or something like that, and that's how somebody extended an invitation to us for a home program or something. Like I know, who was this? Sukhdevanand Prabhu. Is he on the call? He's not on the call, then I don't want to say. So, yeah, he was standing at a bus stop and somebody gave him a flyer. And that's how he came. So, that one flyer, one phone call, you invite them, that one little thing can change the life. So, that's that's the mood. Of course, we also want to follow properly, and then we want to extend the compassion of Lord Nityananda. That's how you get the mercy of Lord Nityananda also. So we want to bring more people to the shelter of Krishna. Is it okay? Anything else anyone would like to say? Oh, okay. So next verse we'll read 3:12-23. Utsangan narado jagne daksho anghusthat swayambhuvaha pranad vashishta sanjato Brigustvachi Karat Kratuhu. So all the sages were born from Brahma, the 10 sons, and Narad Muni is the supreme spiritual master, Prabhupada said, because he has devotion. Others I don't know. Marichi, they are all Atri, Angira, Pulatsya, Pulaha. Prabhupada said here, Brahma therefore created another set of good children who were mostly in favor of worldly fruitive activities. So they were mostly inclined to karma kanda. He knew very well, however, that without devotional service to the Lord, there is hardly any benefit for the conditioned souls, and therefore he at last created his worthy son Narad, who is the supreme spiritual master of all transcendentalists. Without devotional service to the Lord, one cannot any make progress in any department of activity. So any Prabhupada is saying that anything you do, there has to be bhakti. Without bhakti, you cannot be successful. Whether you take Ashtanga Yoga or Dhyana Yoga, whatever, Jnana Yoga, Hatha Yoga, whatever yoga, but if it is not tinged with bhakti, then it cannot be successful. Okay, so then go to the next verse. Narad was born from the deliberation of Brahma, which is the best part of the body. He was born from the deliberation. Of course, we say Marich was born from the mind. So, Vashishta was born from his breathing, Daksha from a thumb, Brigu from his touch, and Kratu from his hand. Narad was born from the best deliberation of Brahma because Narad was able to deliver the Supreme Lord to anyone he liked. Narada, Prabhupada will say later on. The Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be realized by any amount of Vedic knowledge or by any number of penances. You cannot do any tapasya and understand Supreme Lord. Manye dhana abhijana rupa tapashrita ojas. So you cannot be, it's not by just by tapasya you can know. But a pure devotee of the Lord, like Narad, can deliver the Supreme Lord by his goodwill. The very name Narad suggests that he can deliver the Supreme Lord. So unless we get the mercy of the pure devotees, we cannot get Krishna. Nara means the Supreme Lord. Nar means the Supreme Lord, and Da means one who can deliver. So one who delivers the Supreme Lord, basically. That he can deliver the Supreme Lord does not mean that the Lord is like a commodity that can be delivered to any person. So it's not like an iPhone or iPad that you give somebody. Not like that. But Narad can deliver to anyone the transcendental loving service of the Lord as a servitor, friend, parent, or lover, as one may desire out of one's own transcendental love for the Lord. In other words, it is Narad only who can deliver the path of Bhakti Yoga, the highest mystic means for the attainment of the Supreme Lord. So Narad Muni or his representative. We are in the Brahma Sampradaya in which Narad Muni comes. So we are in touch with Srila Prabhupada, who is the modern day Narad Muni. You could say Narad Muni goes everywhere, travels, and his only purpose in traveling is to how to give Krishna consciousness to everyone. So Narad Muni Prabhupada also traveled everywhere, speaking about Krishna, and that was his only desire was to how to give Krishna to others. Okay, so
Narad Muni was cursed by Daksha, right? Because he made his sons all brahmachari, and so he was cursed that you would not stay in one place. And Narad was very happy. And that purport Prabhupada also said, I have been cursed by the parents of my disciples. That's why I can't stay in one place.
yeah, even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was cursed by a Brahmana. Tyaktva sudustyaja surepshita rajya lakshmi dharmishta aryavachasa. Aryavachasa, one Brahmana cursed him. So he said, you will never know any material happiness, right? Something like that. And that became like a blessing for the, yeah. So, or he went to the forest. In forest is like sannyas is like considered like forest because you are socially dead. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in response, because he was that Brahmana became very angry because he was not allowed inside Srivas Thakur's house at night. So he held his Brahmin thread and he cursed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it's mentioned in this purport. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared as a great philosopher Brahmana. Thus is certainly Dharmishta. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the 7th chapter of Adi Lila, it is described that a certain Brahmana who was well known for being harsh and cursing others could not enter the Kirtan hall where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was performing Kirtan because the door was locked. Now you may say, well, why the door was locked? If Kirtan is going happening, then everybody door should be open. Why did they lock the door? Why they did not allow everybody to come into Srivas Thakur's house? What is the reason?
Because others would not understand their bhav, and inside they were only pure devotees.
Yeah, because
The
Lord Chaitanya,
materialistic people were not allowed.
correct. It was not like an ordinary kirtan. It was like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go into ecstasy and he would exhibit Ashta Sattvic Vikar, all the different transformations of ecstasy. So people will not be able to understand very high, like exhibition of transcendental ecstasy. So Mahaprabhu, and they didn't want, because they can imitate also to show that they are spiritually advanced, they can imitate like that. And generally, the thing is that you don't exhibit your transcendental ecstasies in front of the public like that. You don't. Prabhupada also, when he went 1 or 2 times, he went into transcendental ecstasy, but he then came out of it. He didn't want to show. So that's the symptom of the great souls. They keep their devotion in secret. Being very agitated and breaking his Brahmana's thread, he cursed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu the next day on the bank of the Ganges, saying, I shall now curse you, for your behavior has greatly aggrieved me. You shall be bereft of all material happiness. However, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt great jubilation within himself, since his mission was Vairagya Vidya, Nija Bhakti Yoga, to give up the illusion of material sense gratification and staunchly engage 24 hours a day in the service of the Lord, devotional service of the Lord. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took this curse as a blessing, and soon after, the Lord took sannyas. Thus, it is stated in this verse that by the words of the Aryan means those who know the progressive values of the life. Prabhupada writes like that. The Brahmana, Arya Vachasa, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, Yadagada Aranyam. And he went traveling through different forests of India on the way to Vrindavan and later South India. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted especially to preserve the prestige of Brahmana class, therefore he decided to keep the Brahmana's curse intact. So this verse is describing how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the curse, which was for him a very good thing. Because he wanted to. Of course, Supreme Lord nobody can curse the Supreme Lord, right? I mean, Gandhari also cursed Krishna, but Krishna accepts just as a, like, but nobody can curse the Supreme Lord. So, he can nullify all curses. So, but still, anyway.
Only by his sanction that the curse comes through.
Right, yeah. Yeah, like by his own will only he accepts, by his own desire he accepts. By his own desire he becomes a servant of his devotees. Otherwise, he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to serve anybody. Like in this verse by Lord Indra, Indra spoke this verse: Balisham Vachalam Stabdam Agyam Pandita Manina. He was telling when this little cowherd boy who persuaded all the Vrajvasis to stop Indra worship and worship Govardhan hill instead. And Lord Indra became very furious. And he said, this Balishams Vachalam Stabdham, this childlike, this talkative little boy who's very arrogant. And Sridhar Swami, he gives a nice thing. Stabdham means arrogant, or one who does not need, arrogant people don't bow down to anybody else. So Sridhar Swami is saying, yes, he doesn't need to bow down to anybody else. Krishna doesn't need to bow down to anybody else because he's the Supreme Lord. So he interprets, and he's saying Indra is actually glorifying. He's Balisham, he's childlike, yes, he's childlike, he speaks the truth. A child is free from any pretense, and the child speaks the truth. So Krishna is speaking the truth like that. So Krishna doesn't need to bow down to anybody else. But out of his own sweet will, out of his affection for his devotees, he takes a humble position and becomes subservient to his devotees. Okay, so that is his quality which cannot be taken away from him. His Bhakta Vatsal. So it is Narad only who can deliver the path of Bhakti Yoga, the highest mystic means for the attainment of the Supreme Lord. So the representative of Narad Muni, they are all the ones who can deliver. Narad Muni delivered so many. Prahlad Maharaj in the womb, he was speaking, and then Mrigari, the hunter. Then who else Narad Muni delivered?
Dhruva,
Dhruva Maharaj,
Nalkovira, Manigriva,
Manigriva, Nalakuvera. Yeah. Everywhere Narad Muni is
Valmiki.
coming. Why Narad Muni is so much coming in the Bhagavatam?
Because he is the guru of Vyasadev. So Vyasadev is glorifying his guru throughout Bhagavatam.
Yeah. We have Krishna, Brahma, Narad, Vyas, the disciplic succession. So Vyasadev's guru is Narad Muni. He was also in dilemma, and then Narad Muni cleared his confusion. And Vyasadev has written the Bhagavatam, but in that Bhagavatam is glorifying his spiritual master Narad Muni. So everywhere Narad Muni is there. King Prachini Bari, everywhere. Narad Muni is coming everywhere. Even to Kans he is coming and telling so many things. Yeah.
So there is a past life of Narad Muni also described, right? He was a Gandharva.
Yes.
Is that after Brahma gave birth to him or before? Yeah.
Yeah, because
He got curses him to become the maid servant son.
That's a good point. Because yeah, past life was he was son of a maid servant who served the Bhakti Vedanta, and before that he was a Gandharva, right? Who was cursed because he was singing some cinema songs, as Prabhupada said, some demigod songs in an assembly where Vishnu was to be worshipped. So he was cursed to become the son of a maid servant. But when did all this happen? Because here Brahma is giving birth to Narad Muni. I mean, the soul is eternal. So maybe in this, he was already Narad Muni at that time and he just appeared. I don't know. So Lord Shiva is also like eternal, right? Although we say, of course, everybody is eternal. So, but when did it happen? I don't know the chronology. Which millennium or which Manu's reign, or when did Brahma, when did Narad Muni serve the Bhakti Vedantas? And then he became Narad Muni. Because was it in this? Maybe it's mentioned somewhere. I don't know. How do we understand this? Chronology is very difficult to understand. But yeah, we can do some more research and find out. It's a good question. Anybody else has any inputs, then you can share. Okay, so Pulatsya was generated from the years of Brahma. Yeah. Yes.
So this when he became the maid servant son, and when his mother died, then he started traveling, right? And he meditated and he saw Krishna in his heart. And then he left his body there. In that section, he's saying that, um, yeah, having been awarded a transcendental body befitting an associate of personality of Godhead, I quit the body made of five material elements, and thus all acquired fruit or results of karma stopped. So maybe after that incident where he saw Krishna in his heart, he gave up his material body and he got a transcendental body befitting an associate of them. So
But that time also creation was there, right? I mean, so before that, I mean, we are, yeah. So this Brahma is creating this. So which day of Brahma it happened, right? That also is another question. Which was it, like prior to Brahma's creating this material world? Because now here Brahma is, yeah, these are born from Brahma. So all the 10 sons are born from Brahma. So it happened in this material creation. So it must have been like some
in the
day,
beginning.
some day of Brahma somewhere. Yeah, difficult to say.
Okay,
But
the next verse in that section, it says, at the end of the millennium, when the personality of Godhead, Lord Narayan, lay down within the water of devastation, Brahma began to enter into him along with all creative elements, and I also entered through his breathing. After 4.3 billion solar years, when Brahma awoke to create again by the will of the Lord, all the rishis like Marichi, Angira, Atri, and so on were created from the transcendent body of the Lord, and I also appeared along with them.
so it's from one day of Brahma to the next day of Brahma, right? Some one day of Brahma, then
Brahma awoke. Yeah, correct.
yeah. So in one day this thing happened, and the next day when Brahma awoke and started creating, that's when Narad Muni appeared. But yeah, when which day of Brahma and all that, we don't know which. Yeah. So it's like at the beginning of the creation. Of course, all the planets are also not annihilated when Brahma starts creating. Only the lower planets are annihilated. The first time he creates everything, then there is every day there is partial devastation at the end of Brahma's day, and then again next day he creates. But Satyalok, Janalok, Maharlok, they feel heat and they go up to the Janalok, right? We read that also. But yeah, how this all ties up. So it's at the beginning of the day of Brahma. And from previous day, he was in the last day of Brahma, he was not there as Narad Muni, but in the next day he became Narad. So Brahma's day is also so long. So okay, Pulatsya was generated from the ears of Brahma, Angira from the mouth, and we can say how this is possible. Somebody is born from the ears, somebody is born from the mouth, somebody is born from the eyes. Marichi is from the mind, Atri is from the eyes, Marichi from the mind, and Pulaha from the navel. So how do we understand? Well, Krishna can create anything, right? But maybe Brahma is also empowered like that. So from his ears, Pulatsya came. Like we read before also, from his anger, Rudra came and all this. So in this world, any human being comes only through the union of male and female, like any mammals, not the others. So from the ear of Brahma, Pulatsya came. What does that mean? It sounds very. So that's why many people think it is mythology. When they come across all these things are like beyond our experience. But just like Krishna can do anything with this, how can you say Atri from the eyes was meant? Okay,
Rudra was also from the eyebrows.
correct. Okay, we'll read the last verse. We'll stop. Religion was manifested from the breast of Brahma, wherein is seated the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan. Now, this is also another thing. What does it mean? Religion is a person. Religion was manifested from the breast of Brahma, wherein is seated the supreme personality of God. Means from his heart he gave the religious principles, and religion appeared from his back, where horrible death takes place for the living entity. That religion was manifested from the place where personality of Godhead is personally situated is very significant, because religion means devotional service to the personality of Godhead as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita as well as the Bhagavad. So Krishna is in the heart, and that is from where the religion came. What do we say? Religion comes from the Supreme Lord. What is the phrase?
Dharman tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam.
Dharman tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. Religion comes from Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, the last instruction is to give up all other engagements in the name of religion and take shelter of the personality of Godhead. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Srimad Bhagavatam confirms that the highest perfection of religion is that which leads to devotional service of the Lord, that is unmotivated and is not hampered by material impediments. What is that verse?
Savai pumsam paradharman yatho bhakti redhokshati ahetuki pratihatayi atma suprasita.
Bhagavatam is very secular in saying that, oh, it doesn't matter. Whatever religion you follow, if it culminates in unmotivated, uninterrupted devotional service to the Supreme Lord, then that is highest. And that will satisfy the soul. Ye atma suprasidati. So whether you follow Islam or you follow Christianity or you follow Hindu dharma or whatever dharma you follow, if it should culminate in unmotivated. Culminate means it should result in, ultimately it should result in pure devotional service. Then you are good. Then whatever you have done is good. Whatever religion you followed. Religion in its perfect form is the devotional service of the Lord, and irreligion is just the opposite. The heart is the most important part of the body, whereas the back is the most neglected part. When one is attacked by an enemy, one is apt to endure attacks from the back and protect himself from all attacks from the chest. All types of irreligion spring from the back of Brahma, whereas real religion, the devotional service of the Lord, is generated from the chest, the seat of Narayan. Yeah, that's say Maya is also on the back side of the Lord. So that means when you turn away, Krishna is not looking at you, you are at the back. So the absence of Krishna consciousness is Maya. So anything which does not lead, like we say, darkness is absence of light. So if Krishna is not there, then it is all Maya. Anything which does not lead to the devotional service of the Lord is irreligion. So you can follow, but if it does not culminate in devotional service, and anything which leads to devotional service of the Lord is called religion. Okay, so we are going to